frankly, 6-6 isn't good enough, and we didn't see an advantage to waiting to the end.
What up? What up? What up? What's happening? If you were looking at this face and listening to this voice, you were tuned into the best kept secret of sports talk. I'm the friendly neighborhood smoking. You are officially on the hot seat. And what we do on the hot seat? Say it with me, man. We set somebody's ass on fire. And this week we're gonna do things a little different. We're gonna talk about Florida State. It's gonna be an end of year review of sort. We're gonna have a two-parter. We're just gonna talk about something I think we talk about directly today, and probably next week we'll discuss the second piece of it. So without any further ado, man, paying homage to the ghost to my left and my right, let's get down to business, baby. You came for the gospel, and I got something for you today. Ding ding, classes in session. So Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Florida State concluded the end of their season by losing to Florida. I think it was about, 21, 24, some shit, I don't know. And Florida State ends up going 5-7 on the season. Really quickly about the season itself. One thing this season did remind me of that the football season is a very, very, very long season. Um, we saw some really, really highs in this season, and we saw the lowest of lows. There were times in which we thought this team was going to exceed our expectations, and there were times in which we thought this team was going to obtain a level of futility that we hadn't seen at Florida State in decades. But yet and still, they went 5-5, and I'm sorry, 5-7. And I actually predicted them to go 5-7. I didn't predict this 5-7, but they did go 5-7. And yet and still, I was disappointed in the way the season went. So you may ask yourself, and I've been asked a few times, if you thought the team was going 5-7, how the hell are you disappointed? Let me put it to you like this. Um, let's just say you have a favorite team, right? And your favorite team is playing the game in which they were going in as the underdogs. They go into the fourth quarter and that team is up 14 points and they lose. Okay, so going into the fourth quarter and that team is up 14 points, the expectations for that team to win. Meaning that throughout the game, even though you thought they were going to lose, they played well enough to win, and the expectation changed. They were expected to win at that point, 14-point lead, and they lose. You're kind of disappointed because you had a 14-point lead. Everything was going in your direction, and you still found a way to fuck this up. Well, that's not in direct correlation to what I think the FSU season went, but there are times in which I thought that there were football games they should have won, and they did not. You're looking at a team that could have won 7 games. You're looking at a team that probably had a lot gone their way. They could have won 8 games, and to only come out 5-7, we have to pump the brakes for a second and look at it for what it is. It's improvement. Whether it's not the improvement you want, whether it's not them improving the way you would have liked for them to, still improvement. We saw growth in some areas. We saw some players take the next step forward. We probably didn't see enough of it. Maybe, depending on who you are and what the questions are, there were some answers given about Mike Norvell and his staff. The defense performed well. We'll talk about that at a later time. Um, you saw some things happen with Florida State that, at the very least, you can say they were trending in the right direction. And there were some things that happened that, kind of made you want to scratch your head. There were a lot of what the fuck moments. There were some times in which you thought, you know what, not only do we not have the right coaching staff, we don't have the right head coach in place. All these things. And again, that's just a testament to what I said earlier. It was a long season. And one of the more disappointing things about Mike Norvell this season is he had a lot of resources that coaches in the past didn't have, and he still didn't take the step forward or the bigger step that we wanted him to take. But it's progression nonetheless. Now it's time to see what he can do with it. This is when the rubber literally meets the road. Two things about what Mike Norvell and that staff did this season that were very, very impressive. Number one is this. After going 0-4, they never lost that football team. That team played just as hard in game 1 against Notre Dame as they did in game 12 against Florida. People, that's impressive. I don't know what other superlatives you want me to pull out my ass, but that's impressive. To go 0-4 and to have the season look as dim as it did, they ended up reeling off 5 wins. Everything about 5 wins in the next 8 games. Everything about that 0-4 start showed me that, you know what, I don't know if this is the right guy. It showed me that we aren't as talented as some of us thought. Not to say that we all thought that we were talented to begin with, but that 0-4 start had everybody scratching their questions. That 0-4 start had everybody scratching their head and asking a lot of questions that we didn't have the answer to. And he did not lose the football team. That team continued to believe in one another, believe in the staff, and they continue to fight. I can't tell you. I don't know if there's a word in the human language that can describe how impressive that is to me. Because then the other team would have rolled over, especially an FSU team of old. That team would have rolled over, and they didn't. So tip of the hat to Mike Norvell and the season that he was able to put together after that 0-4 start. Second thing I found uber impressive was they kept together that goddamn recruiting class. Listen, man, I don't know what you want to attribute that to, whether it be the bell cow of the class or whether it be them setting the proper expectation going into the season with those recruits. But as far as I can remember off the top of my head, Florida State only lost 2 commitments. One was a really, really big one, but if you know, Travion Williams probably wasn't going to sign with Florida State when he said he committed. You know, Mississippi is just different, guys. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Mississippi is just fucking different. To be able to, y'all do the homework for me. I'm not going to do this, but when was the last time a team with a losing record reeled in a number 1 player in the nation? When was the last time a team that had 3 wins prior to reeled in the number 1 team in the nation? I'm sorry, the number 1 recruit in the nation. There is talent up and down this recruiting class. I think there are some hidden gems in this recruiting class. Everybody, you know what? There is an immense amount of pressure on this recruiting class to be a resemblance of the 2011 recruiting class, the 2013 recruiting class, to just lay the foundation to get Florida State back to the glory days. And I think they know that. And none of them have wavered. They are welcoming the pressure. They want to be the guys that said, we got the ball rolling for this program again. And to not waver, especially after that 0-4 start, to stick with it, to stick with the program, to continue to even listen to the FSU coaches. Again, I don't know who gets the credit for this, but for the time being, until something else comes out, I'm going to give it to Mike Norvell and that staff. I don't know which is more impressive, to not lose their football team after 0-4 or to keep their recruiting class together after 0-4, but they did it. And from the looks of it, they're just going to add to it. People, goddamn, there's 2 things that I thought was going to fix this program very quickly, and I've said this shit over and over and over and over again. An infusion of talent and buy-in from the boosters and the admins. It seems like we have both going in the right direction at present moment. For a team that's won 8 games in the last 2 goddamn seasons, shit, standard is a standard, right? The fuck it is. Cobra can kiss. You know what? I'm not gonna do that on this show. Now that we put that to bed, I'm going to take a little bit to discuss one of the 2 glaring issues I think this team faces moving into next season. Right now, some of you all aren't really in the mood to hear anything negative, right? You don't want to hear anybody pounce on somebody or a kid or a coach or what have you. There's enough negative shit going on in Florida State. You probably just want to hear what's good about the program, and it'll help your sanity, right? I get that. I understand it. Here's your opportunity to get off this goddamn video, because I am getting ready to say something that a lot of you all don't want to hear. We're going to address the quarterback situation at Florida State. And the head of that snake is Jordan Travis. Well, people, I'm here to tell you something. Buckle up. Jordan Travis ain't it. You don't know what that means? Jordan Travis isn't it. It meaning he isn't the person to lead Florida State back to the promised land. That's all I'm telling you. I know people like him. He seems to be a likable kid. And you know what? I want him to be the guy, right? As far as what you can do schematically, as far as the way you can draw things up and the pressure he'd be able to put on the defense with his legs, I want him to be the guy. He's not. And the problem is, it's two problems here. First of all, is the FSU media. They are telling you that he's improved enough to go into year number 3 under Mike Norvell as a starter. That's problem number one. Number two is, since 2014, there have been a laundry list of average to decent to bad to poor to fucking terrible quarterbacks Florida State fans have had to endure. So the moment we get something that looks half the way decent, we settle for it. If the standard is truly the standard, you cannot sell me the shit that Jordan Travis is an FSU caliber quarterback. The same FSU that you remember guys like Drew Rutherford and Thad Busby and hell, even Chris Ricks. You'd give your right arm for one of those three right now. Those were guys who go down to FSU lore as not as decorated as the other 3 Heisman Trophy winners that Florida State has had. You look at the Brad Johnsons, guys like that. These are guys who don't get as much conversation as you do the guys who led Florida State to national championships and things of that nature, right? Well, think about that, then think about what you've had to endure since 2015. That's one of the bigger issues. We are settling for this mediocrity. Jordan Travis is, for all intents and purposes, an average quarterback. Some of you all want to tell me he's improved. Where? Where the hell has Jordan Travis improved? Where have you seen him improve enough consistently to say that he should be the incumbent going into next season? Where? You see him make a throw here, you see him make a throw there, and all of a sudden, he's improved and he's it. See, here's the difference between myself and some of you all. I don't celebrate marginal success. He hasn't improved enough for me to say, hey, do not go into the transfer portal and find a legit number 1 starting quarterback. Do not go into the and I don't mean a quarterback that's going to build depth. Fuck depth. Go into the transfer portal and do what you did last season when you thought you, or at least what you thought you had in Mackenzie Milton. Go find one of those goddamn quarterbacks. Because if the expectation is to win 6 games, 7 games, maybe even 8 games next season, fine, keep Jordan Travis. I will not continually sign up for mediocrity. I will not continue to waddle in obscurity as a football program. Who the fuck wants to cheer on that shit? Yay, we're number 50. Who the fuck does that shit at any goddamn game? You're going to be between 50 and 100 ranking if you continue to produce average-ass quarterbacks. He has not improved enough to say that he should go into the next season unquestioned the number 1 quarterback. He hasn't, people. And if he's improved, okay, he's improved. Explain the goddamn Clemson game. If you watch that game, you know good and hell well Jordan Travis is not your starting quarterback. He's not. Why are you lying to yourself? Hell, because you damn sure ain't lying to me. I know better. You're lying to yourself. Stop believing every goddamn thing you hear. You know what? To hell with it. Don't believe me. What does the film say? Go back and look at the games. People, if they believe in him so much, why do they call the games the way they do? They make the safest throws for him because they have no goddamn faith that he can just sit back, dial it up, and let it rip. Because he can't. Wouldn't you like to have a quarterback that is going to get back there? Okay, so before you make that point, let me ask you a question. How much confidence and faith do you have in Jordan Travis? 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 12. When FSU is behind the change, how much faith do you have in Jordan Travis? On third down, period, how much faith do you have in Jordan Travis? You. These are the third down numbers. Florida State ranked 103rd in the nation, 34.7 conversion rate. That's 103rd out of 130. That's your answer? He's the answer. The quarterback that has you 103rd in the nation in third down conversion. If he's the answer, explain Florida State's lack of scoring in second half of football games. After the Notre Dame game, Florida State averaged less than 10 points. I think 9.8, maybe 9.9 points per game in quarters 3 and 4. Jordan Travis' ability to quarterback limits and handcuffs Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham's play calling because he's not that damn good. Doesn't mean he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not that good. He's average. At 9.9 points a game in the second half. 5 of those games, they had single-digit points in the second half. 2 of those games, they had 0. One of those games he didn't play, I believe, in the second half. But 2 of those games, they had 0 points. You can put some of that on Mike Norvell. I'm fine with that. You can put some of that on Kenny Dillingham. Fine. You also have to give some of that blame to Jordan Travis. There are throws he cannot make. There's defenses that he, even when they are bland and vanilla as it relates to coverage, he can't read them. He stares down receivers. He doesn't know where to go with the ball all the goddamn time. This is the guy who you want to be the quarterback next season. You kiss my grits. I ain't signing up for that shit. You all will support who's in there. You know what? I really wish y'all quit saying that shit. Just support who's ever out there. No, motherfucker, you do it. Because if the person out there isn't any good, why in the hell are you supporting it? You guys go out there and blindly support anything. They could put a brick wall out there and you go brick wall, go. Nah, if he don't need to be out there, get his ass from out there. So his job is to put this team in the best possible position to win. You are not doing that by telling the fan base, by telling the team that we will not go out and attempt to bring in the best quarterback in the transfer portal to challenge Jordan Travis. Because one thing I know about Mike Norvell to be true is he's honest, for the most part. You looking at a guy, he brought in Mackenzie Milton. You don't go get transfer portal guys to sit on the bench. You understand that, right? You don't. I say it again, no problem. You do not go get transfer portal guys to sit on the bench. They did not go get Mackenzie Milton to sit on the bench. They got him to be the starting quarterback. When fall camp came around, there was a competition. By all accounts, Jordan Travis won. Who did they trot out there in the first game of the season? Jordan Travis. That means there was a legit live QB competition. I got no problem with that. None. So that means, at least by his assessment, the best player will play. How can you not like that in a coach, right? He's not showing favoritism. He's not giving somebody the leg up when they don't deserve it. No pun intended to Mackenzie Milton. He gives the person who's going to give the team the best opportunity to win the opportunity to play. I'm okay with that. Go find another goddamn quarterback to do it. The one you handpicked walked. You can't go into this season as A.J. Duffy as your backup quarterback, because one thing we know about Jordan Travis is he's not going to start and finish all 12 games. He's not. The best ability in football is availability. He's not going to be available a lot because he's injury prone. And with the way he likes to play football, the kid is allergic to sliding. He does it here and there, but definitely not enough. Why continue to handcuff this team and hold it back by? And I'm not even saying that the consensus is he's going to start next season. What I am saying from what I've heard is they like him just that much, to whereas they're not going to aggressively go in and tackle anybody in the transfer portal from a quarterback position. People, that is a detriment to this football team if I've never seen it. Don't do that. Jordan Travis ain't it. If he happens to hook up with some QB guru over the summer and he turns into lightning in a goddamn bottle, and fine, great. I'm wrong. Whoop the fucking do. I've been wrong before. Won't be a last time. But from what I've seen this season, the fuck I am wrong. No, sir, I am not. He ain't it. Stop settling for average. I understand what you had to endure with DeAndre Francois. I remember Sean McGuire. God damn it, Jimbo remember Sean McGuire. He went out and got an average quarterback, but McGuire wasn't it. He went out and got ghosting and had a competition, probably a month before the first game of the season, and then goes to the start because he knew McGuire wasn't it. He was decent. He was all right. But you know the goddamn expectations those type of Florida State teams had back in the day. McGuire wasn't a person to get you to where you wanted to go. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Deja vu all over again. Jordan Travis is not the guy to get you to where you want to go. He has not improved enough. It's not fair to me to say he won't improve even more. But how much? How much do you really think he's going to improve? Just look at how they call the football games. Look at the throws they ask him to make. It's the safest shit on the planet Earth. I could get out there and do that shit. I could not. That wasn't very nice. I'm speaking of hyperbole. Mr. Travis, I apologize. I probably can't make a lot of those throws, but you all get my point. You all get the point that I'm trying to drive home. Mike Norvell's job is on the line next season. And I think he understands that. Because what Florida State does not want to do is become the next Tennessee, the next Nebraska, the next Texas, or any other program that once had one hell of a heyday and then they just went through this coaching carousel every 2 or 3 years. I don't think Florida State wants that, and then for any level of job security, I don't think Mike Norvell wants that. Well, a lot of that hinges on this decision. Because one thing I have noticed in college football over the years is it's very, 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 very seldom that quarterbacks learn how to play quarterback under a head coach. You gain experience and you get better, right? But to truly learn how to play the position, that doesn't happen a lot. It has happened, right? We've seen some quarterbacks progress, and whether you want to attribute that to being in the same system for more than 2 to 3 years, if you want to attribute that to just having live game action, or if you just want to attribute it to that kid going out and watching film and wanting to be better himself. College coaches don't divulge a lot of energy into making a quarterback better. So a lot of times your ass got it or you don't. I'm telling you that if Mike Norvell truly believes that this is the guy who's going to keep his job next season, we have the wrong head coach. And let me tell you something. I would love to be wrong. I would like nothing more than for Jordan Travis to prove me wrong about everything I've said here today. Everything. I want him. I just told you all, I want him to be the starting quarterback. I want him to improve vastly. I want him to improve enough to where as a Florida State fan, I can wake up on a Saturday and be confident about the product that's going to get pushed out there to the field. I'm going to be confident that we are going to that we won't go halves without scoring points, that there won't be times in which we're looking at the third quarter and goddamn, we didn't score again. Like you won't go into the fourth quarter losing and just hoping for a goddamn prayer and a miracle that we'll win a football game because we don't have the quarterback to really, and I mean confidently, lead us in the second half comebacks. There are a lot of holes in this team that need to be addressed. Well, I'm telling you that you would like a quarterback to mask some of those holes, which is what Jordan Travis did this season, right? But he won 5 games. How well did he do it? Look how long it took for Florida State to, number one, believe that he was a starting quarterback, and even after that, how long it took for them to understand that we were a running football team. When the team can't run, how do they produce points? You tell me. How the hell do they? I don't give a good goddamn how much you dislike and or hate Mackenzie Milton. The one thing he did, he gave the receivers a chance. We can talk about other things he lacked all goddamn day long, but the one thing I saw him consistently do is he gave the receivers a chance. That's another step that Jordan Travis needs to make. Because if it isn't there here, he won't throw the goddamn football. He doesn't know how to throw receivers open. And I understand the wide receiver room is what it is. That's another area that he can improve in. That's what quarterbacks do. I don't want a quarterback that can't quarterback. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make here? And I'm not even going that we got. I'm not even going the route that we have an athlete playing quarterback or a running back quarterback. I'm not doing that shit. All I'm telling you is, I want my quarterback to, at the very least, be a goddamn quarterback. If he can, if to me, he hasn't shown that he can do those things consistently yet. But like I said before, I would absolutely love him to prove me wrong. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, I ain't gotta tell you, let me know. You let me know anyway. I appreciate your time as always, man. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can reach me on the Hot Seat 19 on Twitter. You can reach me at the Hot Seat 19 on Instagram. We're gonna come back next week and we're gonna have a conversation about some things I think we need to discuss. One thing in particular. I won't give you any type of hints to what it is, but I think you all are being lied to again. And, you know, like I've told you all before about this show, there are no sponsors. You see that weak-ass intro. It's all me. It's all me, man. And I'm merely just giving you an alternative way of thinking. You know, people funnel information to you because they have no choice but to say what they say the way they say it, not necessarily how they see it. And I know that to be fact. Well, I am the powers that be here. You can take what I say, you can take what they say and throw it up against the wall and see which one sticks. It's all my opinion, but at the same token, it's an unbiased opinion. I see this through an unbiased set of eyes. And like I said with Jordan Travis, just watch the tape. If you think I'm lying, watch the tape. Watch the film. Unbiased. Watch the film. See what it tells you. You know, I'm going to give you the truth. That's all I have here to give you. But again, like I said, I appreciate your time. You are officially off the hot seat. Y'all be good.